Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ballet Rain.
Let's make one thing extremely clear. Being a female ballet dancer can be really, really tough.
And yes, while ballet gives us women the limelight and the prestige and the heights of glamour on stage, it definitely comes with its own unique set of challenges.
It does.
That thousands of female dancers all around the world struggle with on the daily. From body image issues to managing energy levels, and obviously the struggle of dancing through that time of the month.
So in case you're new here, welcome by the way. We happen to be dancers ourselves, and we have definitely been through our fair share of female ballet dancer struggles. So this video is for all of our girlies. We're gonna have a little girl talk day, and we're about to cover everything as pertains to navigating life as a female ballet dancer.
We're going to be touching on topics such as managing your menstrual cycle as a dancer, beauty tips, nutrition, body confidence, self-esteem, all of the things that we wish that we had known when we were young and foolish and going through it.
We want all of our girls to really settle down for this video, get yourself a snack and a cozy blanket. And if you're a guy watching this, you are also welcome here. Thank you so much for supporting the girls. We hope this video can really help you to learn and understand more about how you can support the women in your life. So if you're ready for today's video, make sure you tap the like button and let's get into the girl talk.
I'll preface the video by saying we are not medical professionals.
No, not at all.
So
we're not estheticians, we're not mental health specialists, we're not qualified in any of those.
No.
But this is just from our experience and what we know. You'll take it with a grain of salt.
and do your own due research.
Yes, please. And always do what's best for you. But this is just our advice. Just our opinion.
That being said, if you agree to the terms and conditions, sign in the dotted line below. And now, so with that out of the way, we will go into the girl talk.
So for this video, we're going to be starting with sort of the outward layers of your female ballet dancer existence. And we're going to be working slowly, layer by layer, working inward.
You'll see how it goes.
So we're going to be starting at the surface,
Literally.
if you would. Literally, which is your skin and your hair care as a dancer. How to maintain healthy hair and skin while dancing through a lot of heavy makeup and tight hairstyles and a lot of sweat. The very nature of the dancer's lifestyle is not necessarily easy on the skin and hair health, but we're going to give you guys our very best tips on how to maintain your natural beauty while you're dancing.
Starting with skincare, I'll say a huge principle that we like to follow is to let your skin breathe as much as possible.
As much as possible.
While you're dancing.
Yes.
So that means for most classes and rehearsals going barefaced, no
Yes.
makeup at all. When you're dancing, obviously you're sweating a lot, and so the pores in your skin will open. And if you have makeup on, the sweat will break down the makeup a little bit, which will in turn seep into your pores and make everything a bit congested, irritated, and more prone to breakouts.
Yes.
Not great.
Not good. So for your daily classes and rehearsals, try and just go no makeup, nothing on your skin, maybe it's just some skincare, maybe some moisturizer, sunscreen, whatever. And then when you get home from class, immediately cleansing your face really, really helps. You can use a gentle or clarifying skin cleanser to kind of get rid of all of that oil and all of the impurities out of your skin.
And also, if you don't want to wait until you get home, you can also sort of rinse your face with warm water immediately after class. That really does help, especially if you have like really sensitive skin.
Just a quick rinse,
just
to
like
get
a
some
little
of the
splishy
excess
splash.
off. Exactly, a little splishy splash. Obviously, for things like auditions and performances, going barefaced isn't necessarily an option. So if you're going to be wearing makeup while you're dancing, we do have a few tips to kind of minimize the negative impact while dancing through makeup. Please make sure you are using clean makeup brushes, clean applicators whenever you're putting makeup on your skin.
This is paramount.
It really is, and I know it's such a hassle to wash your makeup brushes. We don't enjoy it either.
We're talking to ourselves here, you guys.
We know it's a hassle, but using clean makeup brushes and applicators will really reduce the risk of infection and sort of like contamination onto your skin. Maybe there's some lingering sweat or product on the brushes, and then you're patting that into your skin, which will also mix with the oils while you're dancing and seep into your pores. And I don't need to go on with that. So yeah, make sure you're using clean brushes and applicators. And for the sake of all things beautiful, please do not share makeup brushes with anybody. Just don't do it.
I know as dancers, we get very comfortable with each other. You're like a big family.
Yeah, exactly.
But when at all possible,
try not to.
No.
Just keep the ones that you use, keep them clean, keep them well kept, and your skin will thank you.
And whenever possible, see if you can use non-comedogenic products for like skincare and makeup. Non-comedogenic basically means it won't clog your pores as much. Usually they'll advertise it on the packaging.
Yeah, it'll usually say.
Yeah, it will be like, won't clog pores, non-comedogenic.
It's a little bit more breathable, I think, for your skin.
Yeah.
And I think most importantly, especially after, something like an audition or a performance where your skin has worked a lot to kind of keep up with wearing makeup while you're exercising, is to have a really solid recovery routine for your skin. It's kind of like how you have a recovery routine for the rest of your body. You might do foam rolling, massage, stretching, etc. It's kind of the same thing for your skin.
And so to help all of our dancers in this matter, we've partnered with Foreo Sweden to bring you guys the very best in skincare treatment.
Foreo is here to help make skincare super easy, simple, and enjoyable with innovative skincare devices that help bring that spa-like glow in the comfort of your own home.
They were so kind to send us 2 of their LED treatment products, and they have since become a very regular part of our skin recovery routine.
Firstly, the FAQ202 mask, which is a new generation of LED face mask. It's made of silicone, so it kind of molds to your face no matter what your face shape is. And it features 8 different settings or different colors of light or like wavelength, including near infrared light. If you've done your research about this, it's incredible. It helps a lot with anti-aging and it targets so many other skin concerns. And these 8 settings really help you to customize your treatment for your own unique skin needs.
What I love about this mask is that it is wireless, so it's very portable, very lightweight, and while you use it, while you have it on, you can like multitask. You can do some work, some journaling, some light stretching even, chat with some friends.
The other device that we've been using and loving is the UFO 3, which is a red light therapy device.
It does such a good job of hydrating the skin, and also the warming effect is super calming.
The UFO 3 also features full spectrum LED light and T-sonic massage, which leaves you absolutely glowing after, I'm not even joking, like 5 minutes of use.
Foreo is currently offering all of our ballet nerds 30% off nearly all of the products on their site with the coupon code BALLET30, which I might add can be used in addition to any ongoing promotion on their site.
We've literally experienced brighter, clearer, smoother skin within the first week of using their products. And it's just so much fun to have your little skincare bonding nights with your friends, your sister, your mother, even just yourself. And we're so confident you'll love it just as much as we do. So make sure you check the link in the description box. Use the code BALLET30 to incorporate Foreo into your skin recovery routine. Now on to hair. We always get so many comments from you guys saying like, oh, I love your hair, you have perfect hair. First of all, thank you so much. That's really, really sweet. I think a lot of it is owing to a few simple practices that we use to kind of preserve and protect our hair. If you have ever taken your hair down after class, like from a bun or something, and you have that sort of sore feeling in your scalp, that kind of means that you lost circulation in your scalp, and that is a very bad thing. This is tricky because for ballet, you kind of need to have your hair really secure. But that being said, it can't be denied that constant strain on the hair strands can weaken the follicles and can lead to thinning and hair loss over time, which is not optimal.
A good way to combat the effects of the constant tight hairstyles that ballet requires is to switch up the way that you style your hair and or change up the way you part your hair. I don't know if you're team side part or middle part, but you should learn to be both for the sake of your hair health.
Please.
All right? By switching up your hairstyle and your part, it ensures that you're not pulling on your hair the same way every single time.
Yes.
And it kind of gives your hair a break from the constant tension.
There are so many different ways you can style your hair. You can do a low bun, you can do a high bun, you can do a French twist or the little braided updos. Whatever you choose to do, as long as you're switching it up, on a regular basis. Again, like you said, it really, really helps ease that tension on your hair.
There's also that trick where you leave the outer hair out first and then you gather the rest of your hair into a ponytail and then you gather it gently so it doesn't pull on the hairline so much.
That's a really good tip.
If you guys want a full hair tutorial on different ballet hairstyles, let us know. We'll consider making a separate video about that.
The next 2 tips are super important and we live and breathe by these rules. And the first one is to try and not use any product on your hair in terms of gels and hairspray unless it's absolutely necessary. Just because even if you're washing it out every single night, that product buildup can still linger and it can really cause damage to your hair and really weaken the strands.
And the next one, this might be our inner Asian tiger mom speaking.
100%.
But never, ever do your hair when your hair is wet.
Do not do it. Don't even sleep when your hair is wet.
Don't go outside if your hair is wet.
Don't do anything while your hair is wet. Even detangling, be really gentle because when your hair is wet, that's actually when it's in its most breakable, most vulnerable state. So if you're trying to slick it back into a bun or you're heading out or you're sleeping on it, you're basically subjecting your hair to a whole lot of strain and tension and damage while it's in its most fragile and vulnerable state. Don't do it.
This is one that our mom always
Yeah.
enforced on us.
It's from
when we
Mama
were little.
Rain.
It's from Mama Rain,
Yeah.
not us.
Yeah, this is
From
Mama Rain's
Rain.
advice. As well as this next bit of advice, which is somewhat similar, and that is to take your hair down the moment you're done dancing. Before you get in the car, before you go home, take the hair down. Even if it's just to gather into a looser, lower ponytail, you have to give your hair that release as soon as possible, because that actually, believe it or not, alleviate a lot of unnecessary tension on your scalp and on your hair, and it really just helps it to breathe and stay healthier for longer.
Personal anecdote, we would always get into the car after dance.
Yeah.
When we were really young, our mom would always be, all right, take your hair down. And I know like sometimes when you're young, you just don't want to take it down.
But there's some inner wisdom, some inner Asian mom wisdom there. And same thing goes for like any other activities. If you're just going to the malls or just going for a walk, try and wear looser hairstyles when you can. Of course, if it makes you happy, if it goes with your outfit, that's fine. But just try and limit the amount of tight hairstyles that you do outside of dance.
Oh, and don't wear a high bun to bed. You know, like some people will just tie their hair up into like a high bun and then go to sleep like that. Don't do it. Your hair should
I
be...
think of a loose braid, something that'll kind of like protect it with absolutely no tension. That's the goal. Going along with sleeping on your hair though, it's really helpful to get a silk pillowcase. This is also very beneficial for your skin because it kind of eliminates that friction of your hair against the pillow itself. So it reduces the amount of breakage and just sort of like the tension and aggravation on your scalp.
Another thing that can help is like giving yourself a scalp massage.
Yeah.
And this is not just for hair health, it's also just relaxing. For those of us that are chronically tense, giving yourself a scalp massage can increase blood circulation to your scalp, which basically delivers oxygen and nutrients to the hair follicles, making them stronger, healthier, and reducing hair thinning.
So those are our best hair and skin tips for all of our dancers. They're very simple to do. I feel like once you kind of settle into routine and make it a habit, it really doesn't feel like that much effort at all. So if you're consistent and you keep doing these things, you can rest assured that your skin and your hair will still be in good condition, even despite the demands of ballet. Moving on to chapter number 2, and this is all about our periods, working with your menstrual cycle as a female ballet dancer. This is one of our most popular questions, I think,
yeah.
that we get. So we know you girls are here for this portion of the video.
And our curious gentlemen are here to know too.
Of course.
I think dealing with your menstrual cycle, regardless of whether you're a dancer or not,
Yeah.
is already difficult.
It is
you know,
difficult.
there's energy dips, low mood, bloating, cramping, y'all bleeding, obviously.
It's a whole time.
It is the whole time, and it's especially not fun for dancers when you're expected to be consistently in performance mode and stuck in a leotard and tights all day. It's a unique experience.
We're gonna give you this quick statement to kind of keep in your mind throughout this chapter. So if you're taking notes, you can write this one nice and big. And that is, your body is not your enemy. It is only begging you to understand it.
In case you're not familiar with the menstrual cycle, it is roughly around 28 days long, during which the body goes through 4 different phases or seasons, as they're often referred to.
The first phase or season of your menstrual cycle is your menstrual phase, also called your inner winter or your winter phase. And this is the season where you're actually bleeding. It's kind of like the most obvious phase of your cycle. Following that, we transition into your spring phase, which is called the follicular phase. And this starts directly after your monthly bleed. And that's kind of when your energy levels start to rise again and you start feeling a little bit more confident in yourself.
After this is your ovulation phase or your summer, and this is where you sort of reach your maximum energy levels and your full capability.
Your body's actually more resilient to stress in your ovulation phase, which is really cool. So you can actually push yourself a lot harder than you would in any other phase.
And finally, we have the luteal phase or your inner autumn, and this is basically winding down for winter, for the cycle to start again.
During the luteal phase, your energy levels will slowly start to come down a little bit, and during this phase, your metabolism actually increases, and so you actually need to eat more during this phase. This information is so important, and I wish so much that we had learned this sooner, because having this sort of knowledge about your body's natural energy levels and how everything kind of just ebbs and flows in this way, it really helps you to understand yourself better and be more compassionate when you have those lower energy days. Then you're not beating yourself up over it because it's not your fault. It's literally your body just doing what it naturally does.
It kind of alleviates some of that frustration because at least you have an explanation for, oh, why am I struggling this week when last week was good? You know, it takes that burden off of you and helps you to understand a little bit better and learn how to cope with your body and gently walk yourself through every single season.
The most understanding sort of thing you can do for your body in this regard is to start tracking your menstrual cycle. You can download an app. There are so many out there. There's so many. You can just pick one, start tracking your cycle, and then you can start logging how you're feeling that day, and then eventually you start to recognize patterns, and you get to be able to sort of predict how you're going to be feeling day to day.
And it also helps you to be able to take action for next time. So when you notice the patterns, then you can be proactive about it. And then hopefully, you won't struggle so much the next time. You'll make it a little easier for yourself every time.
Now, when it comes to actually dealing with your period or like the actual bleeding as a dancer, there are a few ways that you can go about handling that. The first option is obviously tampons. I feel like these are the most widely available to everyone. They're generally considered pretty easy to use and to figure out. Although the only caveat with this is that you really need to be diligent about changing it every 6 to 8 hours maximum, because if you don't, you risk getting TSS or toxic shock syndrome, which is life-threatening. And so you have to be really careful about that. Another thing that's really important for reducing your risk of getting TSS while using tampons is by always trying to use the lowest possible absorbency for your flow. So if you're kind of have like a light bleed, don't go for a heavy tampon. You're just increasing your risk there.
Obviously, if you have a really, really heavy bleed, you can use an extra strength tampon.
Of course. But always try to use the bare minimum and just keep changing it every 6 to 8 hours or as necessary.
Tampons are, I think, the most common use. We use them personally, in case you wanted to know.
However, there are a lot of other options available to you when it comes to managing your period while you're dancing. I'm sure you've all heard of the menstrual cup. It's been kind of increasing in popularity these days. And the menstrual cup does have a longer wear time, 8 to 10 hours, and they are reusable. So if that's important to you, then this is a really great option.
Although I will say they are reportedly a little tricky to figure out at first.
There's a certain way you have to fold it before you insert it, which some people can find it a little bit tricky to figure out.
But that being said, a lot of dancers have experienced a lot of success with it. So if that's something you're interested to try out,
definitely try.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth it. The third option on this list when it comes to dealing with your period as a dancer is the menstrual disc, which I think is definitely the newest option available for managing your period. This one again has a longer wear time, 8 to 10 hours, but we've heard it's generally the more difficult one to figure out and kind of learn how to use, just because it's a little bit different. Like the way it sits in your body is different than from like a tampon or a cup. So it does take a little bit of practice. But that being said, people who do master how to use a disc have said that it's their favorite option between, the disc and the cup and the tampon. So it might be worth trying if that's something that sounds good to you. By all means, give it a go.
There are also such thing as like period underwear.
Yes.
So it's like regular underwear that's really absorbent.
It's really thin. You would never guess that it could collect as much as it does.
Yeah.
But it's actually crazy.
But that being said,
you might want to wear like shorts or something.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to wear period underwear in your leotard and tights, you're probably going to want to, put shorts on if your teacher allows or if your school allows. Something like that, just so that you don't see your underwear underneath your leotard. Sometimes you can ask your teacher, okay, I'm on my period this week. May I wear a skirt or shorts or something over my leotard? A lot of, especially if you have a female teacher,
she'll understand.
They'll probably understand and they'll allow you. But again, depends on the school.
I'm not sure if period leotard / tights exist. I don't think that they do, not from my knowledge. But if anyone knows of something that exists, please let us know in the comments, because that would be really, really helpful for all of our girls out there.
Maybe we'll make a video on it.
We will do a review. Regardless of the kind of collection method you use for your period, I think a general tip that will help you a lot is, firstly, if you can wear your tights outside, that can really help, because then you can put a little panty liner, like just a thin liner in your leotard, just to catch any, you never know, there could be a tiny bit of leakage. You just want to be able to catch that. So that could be really helpful. A lot of girls feel a lot more confident wearing black tights on their period rather than pink tights, because it kind of, it hides a little bit more. It gives you that peace of mind.
Like if anything happens, if you start bleeding through, it's covered at least.
It's covered at least. I've even heard some people who say they like to wear 2 pairs of tights.
Oh.
For extra security. So if that helps you feel more confident when you're dancing on your period, go ahead. 2 pairs of tights.
I've never heard.
I've heard a few dancers who do that. I don't personally, but if literally whatever makes you feel more comfortable while you're dancing on your period, just go for it.
Moving on to the other not so great symptoms of having your period beyond just bleeding, more specifically cramps and other pain management. I think the most common method for dealing with pain on your period is obviously an ibuprofen.
Advil or Tylenol or something like that.
Yeah.
It really takes the edge off and it helps you get through those hard rehearsals while you're in a lot of pain. So
I will say though, an important thing to note when you're taking Tylenol or ibuprofen is make sure that you eat something beforehand.
yes,
You should not be taking Advil or ibuprofen in any shape, form, or fashion on an empty stomach. It's
Don't do it.
very bad for your gut lining, and
yeah, it's not good for you. Take it with some water as well so it doesn't burn.
don't swallow it
Don't
dry.
don't dry swallow.
I don't know if you guys swallow your pills dry, but you should not be doing that.
Don't dry swallow. Eat something, take it down with some water, and just let it work its magic. If you're looking for more natural ways to reduce cramps, or like if you're cramping but it's kind of light and you don't really need to take a full-on ibuprofen, there are a lot of natural remedies that can really help prevent or alleviate cramps when they do strike. Firstly is taking a magnesium supplement. Magnesium helps with muscle relaxation, and so all those muscles that are, causing the cramping, if you take magnesium, especially on the days leading up to your period and while you're on your period, it kind of helps everything to relax a little bit more so it's not as painful. Surprisingly also, ginger, we learned this from our Asian parents and grandparents, ginger is actually really, really helpful when you're on your period and those days leading up to it. Ginger actually has the same pain-killing properties as ibuprofen, so I've heard, and aside from that, it has a really warming, soothing, calming effect, and it's really good for bloating and for like water retention, and it just helps everything kind of settle and make you feel a lot better. If you have nausea, at the same time, it'll kind of help that ease as well. We absolutely love ginger. We love ginger teas, ginger candy. We love eating ginger, like cooking into your meals and stir fries and things like that.
It's really good for you too.
It's so good for you, and it helps you feel better.
So that's more Asian tiger parent wisdom for you.
More Asian wisdom for you. Ginger, eat it.
Eat it. When it comes to cramping or feeling bloated on your period, wearing looser dancewear can help.
Really
Or
help.
like tights with a softer waistband. Sometimes what you can do is, the waistband of your tights, you can just cut it in the back.
Like just snip it with some scissors.
Don't cut like too deep, just the waistband part. It's looser. There's not as much like constriction around like the area of your body that's cramping. It helps especially when you're moving, if you're feeling a little bloated that day.
It's real.
It is real.
But having that little snip in your tights just gives it a little bit more breathing room, and it really helps you feel a little bit better.
Your energy levels obviously will be much lower at this part of your cycle, and you may not be feeling great, but actually gentle movement can be really good for your body during this time and can even help alleviate the period cramping. So gentle bar, some stretching, and just other gentle forms of movement can be really good for your body.
However, if you're feeling like your body's really not up to jumping or any other intense sort of choreography, it's completely okay to raise your hand and opt out. In terms of ballet etiquette, it might be nice to let your teacher know before class starts. Hey, just say I'm on my period today. I might have to opt out of certain things just to have that conversation out of the way. But there's absolutely no shame in having to opt out of certain combinations when you're on your period. It's actually better for you. It's better for your body to know that you're not trying to just push it past its limit and to push through the pain.
Yeah, pushing through pain is never good. So I think the skill of learning to listen to your body is a sign of a very smart, successful dancer.
Before we close off this chapter around your menstrual cycle as a dancer, we want to briefly touch on a very serious topic that is unfortunately very common among dancers, and that is the risk of losing your period, also called amenorrhea, which is generally defined as the absence of your period for 3 months or longer. Irregular periods are also really common and can kind of be lumped into this pool of like unhealthy menstrual patterns, but amenorrhea is actually a really, really serious condition that I don't think gets enough attention.
Not having your period for over 3 months often means that your body is under serious stress, whether by overtraining, undereating, or low body fat, or often in dancers, a combination of those.
There have been too many times when we were growing up in the dance world where we hear this phrase being thrown around, oh, you're so lucky you don't have your period. Or like people just generally implying that, oh, it's so inconvenient to have your period, and if you don't have your period, then you're like, oh, you're so lucky, it's so convenient. Please, you guys, this should not be a topic that is glamorized or envied in the slightest, because what's actually happening in your body is that your estrogen levels, which is a really key hormone in the female body, has dropped significantly. And in case you didn't know, estrogen is actually really crucial for bone density. And in the absence of that, you're in a way higher risk for developing, weaker bones, and down the line, even osteoporosis later in life.
Which obviously, as a dancer, we do not want, especially for something as intense as ballet. You want your body to be strong to handle all of the strain.
No stress fractures, no broken bones.
It can also impact your energy, your focus, fitness, your metabolism, your muscle recovery, which can cause a plateau in your ballet technique. If left untreated for too long, it can also really negatively impact your fertility or your ability to conceive, which is unfortunately a tragedy that we've seen
so many times, you guys. It's just something to keep in mind, not just for if you want a family later, but also just your health in the long run. You really want to preserve that and treat it as precious and sacred, because it is. Your body should be cared for because it's the most precious thing that you'll ever have.
Obviously, we are not medical professionals.
No, sorry to our parents.
Sorry to our parents.
We're not doctors. But if you're currently dealing with this problem, like you haven't had your period or they're really irregular, definitely consider talking to your doctor about it.
But I think in general, when it comes to girls trying to get their period back, they're generally recommended to increase their caloric intake, so like eating more, and also to rest more and reduce their physical activity. In general, just trying to take the stress off of your body so your body can relax and realize that we need to have a period. And this sort of is our segue into chapter 3 of the video, which is all about essential nutrition for dancers.
Now we're going to talk about nutrition for dancers, specifically the female dancer, because while there's sort of like a universal picture of what it looks like to eat healthily as an athlete, regardless if you're a girl or a boy, there are some specific foods and elements to keep in mind as a girl that can really support your body and its hormone cycles and just help you keep that energy up throughout the month.
So as a female dancer, and honestly as a human being in general,
there we go, yeah.
You will always need a balanced mix of carbohydrates, protein, and healthy fat.
This is like the baseline. This is like your ground level sort of foundation when it comes to nutrition. For carbohydrates, sweet potatoes are really good, quinoa and bananas. For proteins, tofu is really good, and like any kind of meat like chicken or beef, and also eggs.
And fish.
And
fish is good.
Fish is really good
fish.
for you. We love fish. For healthy fat, you can get avocado, coconut, like any kind of coconut products, like coconut milk, coconut oil, etc.
Desiccated coconut.
Yes, shredded coconut's really good. And also salmon and other kinds of fatty fish. That can be a really good source of healthy fat. If you want a longer list of foods that are good for specifically female ballet dancers, then we actually made a whole list on Notion that you can download for free. It'll be linked below in the description box. You can go and check it out and download it and kind of stick it on your fridge or like have it on your phone as a reference. So that'll all be there for you to check out as sort of like your homework and external resource.
But aside from the 3 main macronutrient categories, there are some very specific nutrients that are very crucial for the female dancer to help manage your energy levels and help support our bodies for everything that we have to go through as women.
The first one we're going to talk about is iron, and iron has a really key play in how your body gets oxygen. And if you did not know, for our girls, when you're bleeding on your period, you are losing a lot of blood and thusly depleting your iron levels. So in those days leading up to your period and during your bleed, it's really important to kind of up your iron intake, whether it be through supplements or food. I will warn you that if you take a supplement, you have to be really careful because sometimes that can give you stomach problems. But there's so many other ways you can get iron into your system through food.
Red meat.
Steak.
Get yourself some steak.
Get some steak.
I love steak. I don't know if y'all love steak, but steak is good.
Because iron kind of helps with the oxygenation of your body. Obviously, if you have a good, healthy iron level, you will naturally feel a lot more energized and less lethargic because your body is kind of like bright and full of oxygen and you'll just naturally feel better. So make sure you keep those iron levels up. It's really helpful to take iron in combination with vitamin C because vitamin C kind of helps the absorption of iron. And doing so, you'll prevent things like low iron levels and even iron deficiency anemia, which is also very prevalent among female dancers and athletes.
Another really crucial thing that you must make sure you're getting enough of is omega-3 fatty acids.
Yes.
It's pretty common knowledge that these are very good for you, but it helps to reduce inflammation in your body, improving your brain function as well, which is really good. As a dancer, you're picking up choreography all the time.
I've heard it's also very good for like your womb health. Flax seeds are a really good source of omega-3 fatty acids, and same thing with fish. Like we said,
this is reason number 67 why you should eat your fish.
All very good sources of omega-3 fatty acids. Next up is calcium, which should be taken in tandem with vitamin D for absorption. This is so important for bone density, like we kind of talked about. Very important for our girls to help prevent osteoporosis. So make sure you're getting your calcium. You can get it from leafy greens, again, dark leafy greens, and you can also get it from dairy products. For vitamin D, you can take a supplement or just stand out in the sun. The sunlight will give you a lot of vitamin D. It'll also make your skin glow, make you happier.
It'll reset your circadian rhythm.
It'll be so good for you. Go stand out in the sun, touch some grass, and take your calcium while you're at it.
Finally, of course, this is so important. You need your electrolytes. Obviously, if you're a dancer or an athlete and you're sweating a lot, you're losing tons of water and salt.
Yes.
So you need to drink your water and then take it with salt. You can put your salt in your water, or you can have watermelon with salt.
And make sure it's not table salt. Make sure it's like a good high quality sea salt or a Celtic sea salt. Those are much better for you.
Going along with electrolytes, you need your potassium as well. I think this is also a common dancer knowledge.
Yeah.
You always have to have your potassium, whether it be a banana or through a supplement. We used to live on bananas. After class, you get home, you have a banana with some almond butter.
The potassium really helps with your energy levels and muscle recovery.
And finally, you need magnesium. We have talked about this earlier, but again, it's very good for muscle relaxation. There are a lot of different kinds of electrolytes you can take. You can take the powder ones that you mix into your water.
And they also have those little, like the dissolvable tablets that you can put into your water. Any of those will do. Or if you want a natural option, what's really good is you get some orange juice and you mix it with coconut water and you add a little bit of that Celtic sea salt in there, stir it up and drink it. That's also a really wonderful natural way to hydrate and get those electrolytes in. Continuing along with hydration, this is a very important part of keeping your body in a good, healthy working order. And one note about hydration, if you're experiencing a lot of bloating or like water retention, or especially like around your period and whatnot, here's another bit of advice from Mama Rain or even Grandmother Rain. And this is to not ever drink ice water or even cold water, but room temperature / lukewarm or even warm water. This is a lot gentler on your body because your body doesn't have that shock of the coldness or the iciness. And it's much better to help digestion and detoxification even, which will really cut down on the bloating. I know it's not to everybody's taste, but it's much easier for your body.
If you don't like just having warm water, you can have herbal tea, like ginger tea or peppermint tea. If you're tea people like us, you will rejoice. And if you're experiencing a lot of bloating or water retention, another thing that can really help is to cut down on the caffeine. I know it's so difficult.
So sorry.
But cutting down on the caffeine really does help with that kind of thing.
Final note for the nutrition chapter of this video, please eat enough, please. If you don't eat enough, it basically will just add another load of stress onto your already stressed out body from whatever dancing or exercise you're doing. It can cause a lot of health problems, like we mentioned, amenorrhea and a lot of other things like that. We're not here to tell you exactly what you should eat or how you should go about nutrition, but if we could give a little bit of advice, we would say to maybe not worry about counting calories so much. We think it's really important to eat intuitively, listen to your body's hunger signals, and to nourish it properly without restriction. If we could go a step further, we would say really feed your body, not just fill it with like empty things like, you know, junk food and whatnot. But honestly, please, just eat enough. Fuel your body, and it's completely okay to make room for a treat or two once in a while.
Exactly.
It's 100% okay. Guilt-free. Take this as your sign.
When your body can trust you to consistently feed it when it needs fuel, all of those sort of alarm signals will start to calm down.
Like imagine if your dog or your cat or even your child was hungry and crying for food. You wouldn't even think about leaving them and starving them or force them to work for their food, right? You would feed them. And so treat yourself with the same love and kindness and compassion and respect. You 100% deserve proper nourishment.
Going along with our point from before, we are now moving into the 4th chapter of this video, which sort of covers a very serious, prevalent issue among female dancers and women in general, and that is regarding body image and self-esteem. Unfortunately and tragically, negative body image, eating disorders, comparison, and negative self-talk are all very common issues that many dancers face on the daily.
The truth is that the ideal body for ballet is so incredibly elusive, you guys, and many of even the world's greatest, most perfect dancers won't even be able to attain it. And yet, these same dancers who don't necessarily fit the ideal standard have become some of the greatest dancers and have performed on prestigious stages all over the world. And you probably even admire them, maybe follow them on social media and become one of their fans.
So it begs the question, is there really a point to beating yourself up and striving to attain an unattainable body?
And the thing is, it's not even like so much just the dancer. It trickles down from, you know, authorities, like maybe it's your teacher who instills this sort of mindset. It could be directors who only cast girls that look a certain way. So if you're struggling with this right now in any of these categories, whether it's like an eating disorder or like an unhealthy body image or anything like that, our heart goes out to you and we want you to know it wasn't your fault. And more importantly, we want to know that healing is possible. You actually can heal from it. But for today's video, we just want to offer you some comforting facts that will hopefully give you some strength and courage that you need to start your healing journey.
First point that we hope that all of our dancers all around the world never lose sight of is that strength, flexibility, endurance, artistry, and technique matter way more than any specific body type. So instead of fixating so much on how your body looks or how it appears, focus on what it can do instead. Because that's the most important thing. And that's what makes us dancers, is what our bodies are able to do. Not how they look, what they're able to do. And the art that they're able to create.
And while some people will be like, oh, well, ballet is a visual art, I have to look a certain way. Yes, ballet is a visual art, but visual means so much more than just your body. It's the way you communicate and relate with an audience, the power and confidence in which you approach every step, the way you embody and move with the music. Ballet is a full emotional experience, and it goes beyond just how your body looks. So remember that and know that no matter what body you are in right now, you have the capability to captivate any audience right now, just as you are.
Another thing that I think is important to remember is that regardless of what you look like, there will be people who will accept you and there will be people who also reject you. But here's the thing, you always have the choice to accept yourself. You know, no matter how close you are or how far you are from this quote unquote perfect ideal ballet beauty standard, there may be people who accept you for it and there may be people who also reject you for it. But if you can learn to always accept yourself as you are, that's the only thing that really matters when it comes to your personal ballet journey and your own perception of yourself. It is very difficult to do, especially because, you know, in ballet we're so focused on people's perception of us. Because again, we're out in the spotlight, we're in rehearsal with directors and teachers and peers. I think it's very important to practice not thinking so much about how others perceive you, but instead to focus on the way you think about yourself, because then it sort of allows you to become the best version of yourself instead of being molded and shaped and pressured by the people around you or, you know, society's expectations of you. The bottom line is people will always have differing opinions. Become strong in yourself, and everyone else who's meant to be will be.
Exactly. Our final note on this is something that we say quite often on this channel, and that is perfection is elusive.
Obviously.
Obviously.
You thought you could get through the video without us saying it at least once.
It's absolutely true. No one will ever be able to achieve perfection by whatever standard that might be. But what you can achieve and what you can attain is uniqueness. There's only one person in the whole entire world who can be you, and that's you. And the world needs you. Being authentic with yourself and being true and being real. That's what makes ballet and makes art what it is. It's being able to see different perspectives and see different expressions of this beautiful thing called humanity. Be yourself, accept yourself, and know that we are loving and cheering you on from here. We know that the road to recovery from, you know, an unhealthy body image, eating disorders, etc., is not an easy road at all. We want you to know that we see you and we understand. But we really just hope we can encourage you to remember that healing is for you. Healing is possible. 100% healing is possible. And the door for healing is always open should you ever choose to accept, should you ever choose to enter. The door is always open, waiting for you, and there's so much beauty and freedom on the other side. Moving on to the final chapter of this video, and this is all about confidence as a female dancer. This chapter is going to be all about practical tips to boost your confidence today, because we don't want you to leave this video just being the same old person you were when you started this video. We're here to give you your first steps.
So the exercise is really very simple.
Yes.
All you're gonna do is we want you to write down 3 things that you love about yourself as a dancer, and then here's the thing, 3 more things that you love about yourself outside of dance.
Alternatively, if you're not a dancer, you can apply this to, you know, your work life or whatever occupation, and then just yourself outside of that.
Because it's so important to remember that aside from, you know, your circle or your field of expertise, you are also a complete, full human being with a very multifaceted personality and tons of other incredible qualities. So make sure that you write 3 for each. We're gonna give you a little time, a little dance break, while you write it down. Honestly, it can't be hard because you guys have so many incredible qualities. We see so many incredible qualities out of you guys just from what we see of you online.
Yeah.
Whenever you guys write comments and kind words from your heart and see the way you guys support us.
We can name them right now. Generosity, loyalty, and love. Ballet nerdiness, kindness. There's so
intelligence,
many.
insight. And we see you guys online. Like through
we
a
don't
screen.
even know you.
It's parasocial, you guys.
It is. There's so much much beauty in yourself, not just in your occupation, but outside of it. So make sure you get those 6 things written down.
Hopefully we helped you a little with our tips.
The next step in boosting your confidence is to start reclaiming the way you think and speak and feel about yourself. So one habit we want you to start doing is every time you look in the mirror, maybe like when you're getting ready for the morning or just before you go to bed, is to say something nice to yourself. Look yourself in your own eyes in the reflection and tell yourself something, even if as simple as I love you no matter what. It can be that simple. And not just to say the words, because anyone can just say words, but we really want you to lean into that emotion and that feeling behind the words and really offer that genuinity to yourself like you would to someone that you really admire.
This is important to do not just on the good days, but also especially on the hard days, on the days where you don't feel like it, the days where you're feeling down about yourself. It's even more important on those days to really say it from inside yourself. I love you no matter what, or whatever kind words you can say to yourself. I think it's very, very important.
And it's not about trying to tell yourself something that you can't fully believe. Like if you look in your mirror one day and you know you're not feeling well, maybe you're a little under the weather, maybe you have an injury or something. Instead of saying, I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am alive, I am energetic, and you can't fully embody that while you're saying it, you can take it in a different approach and say, I am healing. I am improving every day. My body is for me, not against me. Something like that. As long as you can align your heart to it and offer those words to yourself with genuinity, that's what matters.
The next tip is pretty self-explanatory, pretty common sense, but I believe everyone needs to hear it anyways.
Yes.
And that is you need to unfollow the accounts that cause you to compare and to view yourself negatively. And there are a lot of them out there. Maybe they don't mean to be, but it's very unique to the way you perceive those accounts. Because some people might look at someone and say, oh, that's very inspiring.
Exactly.
But if you look at it and you start to compare, maybe it's not someone who should pop up on your home feed every day. You know what I mean?
It's not really about whether it's a bad account or a good account, if they're right or if they're wrong. But if it's making you feel less than by consuming that kind of content, that's the sort of the sign that it's time to step back, create that space, create that distance, so you can focus on yourself and seeing the beauty in it.
Last point, and this is for our ladies and gentlemen both. The next time that you feel tempted to compare yourself or you start spiraling into self-criticism, we want you to take a step back, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that you are incomparable, meaning that
Not comparable.
No
one can compare with you.
No one can compare with you. No matter how similar to another person you might seem on the outside, you are still so vastly different that it's really not fair to compare yourself to any other person on the planet. You know, you are one of one.
No one can even compare or get close to who you are.
And what's more is that not only are you incredible and incomparable, but also everyone else around you is incredible and incomparable.
In their own way.
Yeah, in their own unique way.
Yeah.
Everyone has their unique blend of traits that make them them. It could be physical traits, it could be personality traits, it could be skills, and everything that sums up the essence of that person and makes them who they are.
So as you're walking around, as you step away from this video, and as you go back into your life, we just want you to start noticing, just start looking around and appreciating the unique beauty in all the people and everything around you. And when you look at yourself, we want you to look deeper than you have been, and start to notice the uniqueness and the beauty that is already in you.
And this has been the first ever Girl Talk with yours truly.
Being a female dancer definitely comes with its own challenges, but those challenges pale in comparison to the grace and strength that you already have inside of you. And to all of our girls watching this, thank you so much for being here. We hope you feel inspired and powerful and so beautiful and special.
And to all our boys watching this, we're so glad you came. You also are inspiring, powerful, and beautiful in your own right. So now you are obligated to like the video and comment a flower emoji in the comments to support all the girls here and the women in your life.
If you want more tips with managing your dancer life, then we would love to recommend you to watch the Ballet It Girl / It Boy handbook video that we did, which is a complete guide on becoming the very best dancer that you can be.
And of course, a huge thank you to our partner for today's video, Foreo Sweden. If you would like to take your self-care routine to the next level, obviously click the link in the description box of this video and use the code BALLET30 for 30% off almost all of their products. Anyways, I think that is all from us for now. This is Ballet Rain signing off. Until the next video.
Bye.
Okay. Sorry, I gotta put my knee down.
Okay.
I'm sitting like a gargoyle.
Where did that come from? Do not share makeup brushes or applicators. That's like the biggest thing for spreading things. Sorry.